Hey everyone, and welcome back to The Explainer. So let's just dive right in today because we are unpacking a really brilliant fictional story that honestly doubles as an absolute masterclass in wealth building and personal finance. It's called The Boy Who Saved Every Coin, and it so beautifully illustrates the exact mindset you need to achieve extraordinary success. Seriously, if you've ever wondered how real wealth is actually built from the ground up, well, this story breaks it down perfectly.
But first, I want to start by asking you a question. Look at this number, just a 1. How in the world can something as impossibly small as a single lonely coin be the ultimate catalyst for changing your entire life? I mean, it sounds kind of ridiculous, right? We're also conditioned to think that getting wealthy requires some massive inheritance or, hitting the lottery. But as we're going to see throughout this explainer, the magic isn't actually in the single unit of currency itself. It's entirely about what that number represents.
And that brings us to this idea right here. This powerful quote is the absolute core philosophy of our main character, a 16-year-old kid named Daniel. In the very first scene of our source material, Daniel drops just a single coin into this old glass jar. Now, this simple action is rooted in the foundational wisdom of his grandmother, Anna. She's the one who teaches him that small habits create big futures. It's an incredibly simple philosophy, but as you'll see, it's completely unbreakable.
Section 1. The Power of One Coin. Small Habits, Big Futures.
Okay, so let's look at the very first step of the wealth building journey, saving. And yeah, I know, the daily discipline of saving is totally unglamorous. It's often really boring, but it is absolutely essential. The story creates this stark contrast in mindsets for us. On one side, you have Daniel. He saves a part of literally everything he earns. He avoids unnecessary spending. He chooses to actually repair old things instead of just buying new ones, and he's always reading books about money and investing. And then you have his best friend, Jake. Jake literally laughs at Daniel for saving one coin. He jokes that Daniel's going to be rich in like 500 years. Jake's mindset is entirely consumer-driven. He just wants to spend his money immediately. It's that classic age-old battle between delayed gratification and instant satisfaction.
Moving right along to Section 2. Character meets opportunity. The foundation of integrity. So this is where things get really interesting, because the story shows us that true wealth requires so much more than just hoarding cash. The plot takes a massive turn right here. Daniel actually finds a lost wallet, and it is just stuffed full of cash. Predictably, his friend Jake starts whispering in his ear that they finally hit the jackpot and urges him to just keep it. But Daniel, he just laughs it off. He actively chooses honesty over a quick, unearned payday and returns the wallet. And wouldn't you know it, this is exactly where opportunity strikes, because the owner of that wallet happens to be a highly successful investor named Mr. Wilson.
And then, Mr. Wilson drops what is arguably one of the most powerful truth bombs from this entire explainer. Money can be earned again. Character cannot. Because Daniel proved his integrity right then and there, Mr. Wilson offers him the ultimate, totally life-changing reward: mentorship. He offers to teach Daniel everything he knows about investing. This just goes to show that who you are as a person is just as important as what's sitting in your savings jar.
Section 3. Smart Risk vs. Quick Schemes. The Strategy of Investing.
So Daniel levels up here. He transitions from simply saving money to learning the actual mechanics of how to multiply it. Let's break down this practical 4-step blueprint that Mr. Wilson gives him. Step 1 is understanding saving, which honestly, Daniel already has a great grip on. Step 2 is learning how businesses actually operate in the real world. Step 3 is smart investing, which is all about deploying your capital efficiently. And finally, Step 4, risk management. This is how you protect what you've worked so hard to build. Mr. Wilson teaches Daniel the ultimate goal here. Don't just make money your servant for one single day. Make it work for you forever.
But look, knowing all this theory is only half the battle. The crucial point is how you apply that knowledge when temptation inevitably comes knocking. And oh man, does it knock. A greedy businessman named Mr. Drake approaches Daniel with this completely fake investment scheme, basically promising to double your money overnight. But because Daniel has totally absorbed Mr. Wilson's philosophy of making money work forever, he sees right through the guy. He just smiles and tells Mr. Drake, "If it sounds too good to be true, it usually is. Boom. Daniel successfully rejects the scam and protects his hard-earned capital.
All right, Section 4, building a resilient business, the execution phase.
Now it's time for action. This is where Daniel takes all that saved capital, plus his new knowledge, and puts it to the ultimate test. He launches his very first venture, a small snack business. And in a really great display of loyalty, he actually hires his friend Jake as a salesman. Though I have to mention, there's this hilarious moment in the story where Jake literally eats half the inventory before selling a single thing. Daniel just laughs it off and reminds him he's getting paid to sell the snacks, not do a taste test review. But the fun doesn't last too long because Daniel gets hit with a serious real-world challenge. A much larger competitor opens up right nearby, directly threatening to crush his growing business.
Now, a lot of people would totally panic here, right? But Daniel's response is just brilliant. We may have less money, but we have better ideas. This flawlessly illustrates his resilient leadership. Instead of trying to somehow outspend the giant competitor, he outthinks them. He and his team focus hyper-intently on improving the quality of their products and delivering unmatched customer service. And guess what? It works. The customers stay loyal, and the business doesn't just survive, it thrives.
Which brings us to Section 5, the habit of wealth, success and legacy. Let's map this out chronologically to see the ultimate payoff of Daniel's lifelong habits, because seeing it really puts things into perspective. In year 1, he starts the habit with just a single jar. By year 3, he's actively learning from a mentor. Year 5, he's launching his own business. Year 7, he's overcoming massive competitive hurdles. And all the way out at year 15, he finally achieves millionaire status. It underscores the undeniable reality here. True wealth takes time, it takes patience, and it takes execution.
Fast forward a bit, and Daniel is a highly successful adult entrepreneur and investor. He actually makes the cover of a magazine with this striking headline, "Boy who saved every coin becomes millionaire." When reporters hound him asking for his big secret, he drops an incredible truth bomb. He tells them, "Hey, I didn't become rich by simply earning more money. I became rich by wasting less and investing wisely." The whole shebang traces right back to those early daily habits.
But you know, the hero's journey isn't really complete until they give back. Daniel eventually dedicates his time to teaching free financial education to kids in his community. And grandmother Anna is looking on so proudly, noting that her core philosophy has completely come full circle. As she tells him, he didn't just save coins, he saved futures.
And we're going to end on this genuinely profound question asked by a young boy in Daniel's class who's just holding up a single coin. Can one coin really change my life? Daniel's answer is the lingering, powerful truth of this entire explainer. He says, not by itself, but by the habit it creates. Your future is built one single decision at a time. So the next time you hold a single coin or a single dollar, ask yourself, what habit are you creating today? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I will catch you guys on the next one.